Y'all going to have to help me remember to do that. Here we go. All right. Thanks for sharing the video. That helps us keep going. Glad y'all are with us. We're going to talk about food categories. We're going to talk about, this is basic training. Saturday, we've got a great class. We're going to talk about the weight loss meter. It's an advanced class, how to make better choices. And we want to dispel some myths about our little weight loss meter and help you to better be able to use it. That class on the weight loss meter, God willing, he tarries is coming and we all still living and breathing. We'll do that on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., the weight loss meter class. So here, tonight, we're going to look at the basics, the food categories, and we're going to talk about why it's important to categorize your food. I think it's also important to note, even before we really get started here, that there's no way to teach this entire program in an hour. So what I hope that you'll do is not take shortcuts and do this thing right. Some of you can, in fact, one of the most recent critiques that we got was, Travis, we can repeat some of the words coming out of your mouth before you say them. That means you've taught on that too much. Would you please move on? No, I won't. I think I know what works. I mean, we have now taught more than 100,000 people this program. And the ones that will do it, it works for them. And part of what works is the repetitious nature of phase one. If you'll watch those daily doses, take the test, pass the test, and earn the badge, that will signify to you and us that you've got a pretty decent understanding of the basics. It's important to understand the basics of why we teach it the way we teach it. That's why this is, I think, a good lifestyle. We teach the basics of nutrition, and we build that within the boundaries of that Cibola shield: water, journal, combinations, portions, timing. We've all got to be on the same page to make it a lifestyle. So you watch the daily doses, take test, pass test, earn the badge, and that makes all the stuff that comes easier for you to personalize. Phase one really isn't a personalized program. It's a one-shoe-fits-all. But then as we move beyond that, it makes personalizing the program for one much easier. And you'll find, if you've lived this lifestyle like, say, Cindy Walters or myself, Cindy and I don't have the same program. We both do Shibboleth, but we do different versions of it. But yet those versions, they've kind of fostered themselves because we needed some personalization. Same thing for my wife, Sasha. We don't do the same program, but yet what we do still fits within the basic foundational program. We've just kind of branched off from there, and we still got a basis for the things that we do that's based upon that phase one program. So watch the daily doses, take the test, pass the test, earn the badge. Repetition is the mother of skill, right, Rena? Hope I'm pronouncing that right, Rena. It may be Rena. I think it's Rena. Glad to have you tonight. So this looks like this is what we're trying to avoid here. Now I know this is an exaggerated kitchen table here with cookies and potatoes and cakes and pancakes and butter and greasy fried chicken and burgers and cherry cola, but this is what makes up 80% this type of food and its kinfolk. This is the type of foods that makes up 80% of the American diet. It's funny to me, I talk to people that are new, that haven't watched the daily doses, haven't completely bought in. Maybe they came because they had a friend that had bought in and done well, and they want the result but aren't yet ready to adopt new eating and lifestyle philosophies, and they'll say, I don't understand why I have a weight problem. I eat pretty healthy. What they're talking about is that 20% of the time they have a salad or they eat what they think is decently healthy. But in fact, it is a fact that 80% of the American diet, I'm talking about dieters who don't have a plan that they're willing to stick to, looks like this. You know, you eat a burger, it's going to be the patty that's within that burger, even if you get a turkey burger at a restaurant, is going to be mostly fat. Mostly fat. And then you eat it with white bread, white flour bun, little to no protein or fiber. It's got cheese on it. It's got mayonnaise on it. Well, your blood sugar goes through the roof. And then the pancreas secretes a hormone called insulin. We call it the fat bus. And now you forget that it's got 700 calories in it or more. That's bad enough. That's half of every lady here. That's half your baseline metabolic rate for the day. Forget how many calories. Something even worse is happening. Something even worse is happening. Now that hormone called insulin, the fat bus, is going to do its job. And it's going to pick up the fat that's in the cheese. See, regular full fat cheese breaks down into fat, little fat lipids. And those fat lipids could be used as an immediate energy source if you didn't overdo it. But you've also coupled that cheese fat with that beef fat. So now you've got a lot of fat lipids. And the only way that they're going to be used up as an energy source is if there's an absence of carbohydrate, an absence of insulin response, and you portion controlled it, which isn't happening either. It's already in the form of fat, so the body doesn't even have to go through any metabolic process really to store it as fat. It's already in the form of fat. So when we eat a pizza at a restaurant, it's the wrong kind of pizza, or we eat a burger, the wrong kind of burger, we got a real problem. Now, right now, the big thing, last year, the big thing was Whole 30, I think, and then paleo. Now it's the keto thing, which is Dr. Atkins revisited, and Dr. Atkins was just the keto philosophy. So the keto diet, right? Well, there's some benefits to a keto diet if you control your portion because you're inefficient fat burning. And when you're inefficient fat burning and you're eating fat with a little protein, you'll burn fat. You'll burn fat. You won't store very much fat unless you overeat the fat, because the fat, once you're in fat burning, the fat will be used up as an energy source. So, example, if I want to go to Burger King and order a Whopper with cheese, throw away their bread, cut up that Whopper meat, maybe eat 2/3 of that Whopper meat with a side salad, I haven't done that bad. So let's move to the next meal. Same situation. Now I'm at home and I have a steak with some green beans. That steak's got a high ratio of fat to protein, higher ratio of fat than protein. So, and no carbs in a steak. And I have some lettuce and I don't have any dressing maybe it's just a full fat dressing, no carbs. Then I can still kind of be in this keto zone. But what happens if I have a mental slip and I eat one thing that I shouldn't eat that causes an insulin release? Now, to me, you've got the most harmful situation possible. You've got the fat bus with extra fat that you're eating because you're trying to get in ketosis, which can be dangerous to purposely get in ketosis for a diabetic. So, I mean, I don't understand it unless you can make it a lifestyle. When I look at the foods here on this table, we're not even talking about, I'd 2-to-1 rather somebody be adhere to a ketogenic diet than to eat like what's on this table, though, because you've got all that bad fat coupled with all that starch, coupled with all that flour, that breading. McDonald's French fries, they take the French fries, it's already a high glycemic carbohydrate. It's a white potato or white potato starch, whatever they serve up as French fries now. And they dip them things in brown sugar. That's why they're so golden brown. That causes your blood sugar to go through the roof, your pancreas to dump and unload insulin like there's no tomorrow to keep you out of a diabetic coma. Plus, you got the potato starch shooting it up. And what did they cook them in? They cooked them in the worst fat possible. So you got tons of fat lipids in your digestive system and in your bloodstream. You've got tons of sugar and starch. Forget the calories. The calories are bad enough on their own, but it's even worse because you're causing this hormone, insulin, to be released at such heavy doses to keep you alive and to make sure you don't go into diabetic coma, that it's going to do its job while it's there, which is also to store all the fat that you just sucked down your windpipe. And now what's going to happen? Well, that hormone insulin's like a syringe. You ever used a syringe to suck up anything? That's what the hormone insulin looks like. It's going to be like a syringe. It's like putting it in that Whopper meat when you put it with the wrong bread. Sucking up all that fat. Now it's going to look for a place to put all that fat. It ain't that you hope this don't happen. It's happening. There ain't nothing you can do about it. You should have proven it to yourself that it's happening. I proved it to myself that it was happening. And then that syringe looks for Travis's butte and Travis's love handles and Travis's chin. And it plants it all over my body. Wherever I'm genetically predisposed to carry fat, it plants it all over my body. And I just grow. So see, if we're common sense people, we can deduct what right food combinations are from understanding what happens when we put these macronutrients together. That's what we're teaching. You take pancakes. Man, I love pancakes. Love pancakes. But you have an ordinary pancake with butter on it and syrup. That syrup's full of sugar. Then you put the butter fat on it. And then you got all those carbohydrates. What are you storing? You're storing all that fat. It's just never, ever worth it if you want to live in a lean and healthy temple and live an abundant life. Everything on this table here, within this illustration, we have void replacements for. You can even have French fries. Get me a potato and I cut it up into steak fry size. Is what I do. The difference is how I control my portion. I don't eat endless amounts. I hate that feeling. I've reconditioned myself. And I cut up my steak fries and I cook them in a little MCT oil, salt them down real good. Got me 4 big steak fries. Can't eat them by themselves. I got to put them with my chicken breast, my green beans. You've got to make sure that you control insulin by putting your foods in the right food combinations, because protein and fiber will slow the fat bust down. So, I mean, this is just a review of why we teach what we teach. Greasy fried chicken back there on the back of the table. Nothing wrong with chicken breast. Nothing even wrong with dark meat chicken. Dark meat chicken's a 4. Chicken breast is a category 1. We're going to talk about them categories. But if it's breaded and fried, the breading, it's fried in the oil, the fat, the bad fat, the long chain triglycerides are cooked into that chicken breast. That's not the worst problem. The worst is that it's there, and now I've got it breaded with flour or whatever that chicken's breaded in that shoots my blood sugar through the roof. And then I'm going to store all that fat. And then I wonder why I'm miserable, why I'm unhealthy, had a little mouth pleasure, and now I've got long-term unhappiness. So what do? Do I have breaded and fried chicken? Heck yeah. I know how to do it at home, and if I want it out and about, I go to Chick-fil-A. Their breading's a lower carb breading. I can get away with it. Here's another thing. The foods on that table were obviously bad food. Y'all know that. You don't need me to do anything, but because you're busy people, life gets in the way. You hustle, you do everything you can do for your families, working hard. My role is to do a lot of the work for you. And then bring what you know back to top of consciousness. You know these things. You know that regular pizza is not good for your waistline, but you do it because you're busy. You ain't focused on your goals. You do those things from time to time. I'm trying to get you goals top of consciousness, keep the program top of consciousness, help you make better decisions regarding things you already know. You know broccoli's good for you. You didn't need me to tell you that broccoli was good for you. You ain't never looked in the mirror and said, Lord, help, I got to back away from the broccoli. But I want to teach you what's good about it. And maybe you'll make those selections more often because you know how good they are for you. But what I can bring to the table that some of you didn't know until you come to Shibboleth are things like this. We've been taught all of our life, an apple a day will keep the doctor away. Apples are good for you, and so is the entire fruit category on planet Shibboleth. But if your situation is that you need to lose weight, your situation is you need to lose some body fat, and you eat an apple by itself, you have not made any progress. You have set yourself back. An apple a day is a good prevention food. It's good for us. You think it'd be good for us if we're overweight. If we're overweight, significantly overweight, 30 pounds or more, we have a problem, and it is a huge, huge nightmare problem. The leading cause of all premature death in our country and in many places across the world is obesity. It's a huge problem. That means that you, whether you want to talk about it or not, you're unhealthy. So this is a situation where, as an unhealthy person, it is not the most efficient thing for you to do to go and eat fruit by itself until you reach your goal. Then it would be acceptable. We base things here around the situation. Two, a lot of people freak out because it's going to take me so long to lose weight, Brother Travis. It's going to take forever. No, it's not. Not if you get serious, and we can move to wellness, maintenance, interchangeable terms as far as I'm concerned. We can move to that very rapidly if we just quit making movement, chasing our tail, and start making progress. But for now, for the time being, if I eat an apple, even a healthy, wholesome food like an apple, some would argue, I won't, some would argue that grains, whole grains are healthy. I think they're terrible for you. We approve them because people want them in the program, but we've approved them in such a way that they can still not cause you to gain weight. And I like to have some corn on the cob every once in a while. I like to have some long grain brown rice every once in a while. More of a taste thing than anything for me. But I don't think grains are that good for you. But lima beans and peas, these are some things really good for you. Pea protein's one of the best protein sources there is. Slow digesting, shuts the fat bus down. Hey, Christy, what's up? Hey, y'all. A lot of good things about some of these foods that in the beginning we tell you to be careful, And apple being one of those that we say, be careful. Because if you eat this apple, it's not going to shoot your blood sugar through the roof like a couple of slices of white bread, because it's got fiber in it, but it's still going to shoot your blood sugar up some, enough that we elevate our blood. Our blood sugar is elevated enough that our pancreas releases the fat bus to regulate the blood sugar. And now that fat bus is going to do what it does. It's going to elevate appetite. It's going to cause fat storage from that point and forward for 2 days. And it's going to stop your efficient fat burning processes. So the situation is we want to lose weight, lose it efficiently. Then an apple by itself, fruit by itself, grains by themselves are not going to get us there in an efficient, healthy manner. So we got to understand these things going into this. You can get with it. It's just a decision, isn't it? Just a decision. Glad to hear you say that. Sometimes, like in the church, he'll say, me being my own accuser, I asked the church to bear with me. I did this, I did that. And that's what Christy's saying there. Got to love yourself, but saying, I know and recognize I'm making excuses. I'm ready to fix it. God bless you. That's the start. That's the start. Taking extreme ownership of our situation. Let's look at our categories. Now, the website is full of thousands of foods that are approved. But I'm trying, you can watch the daily doses and look at the food library to learn all that. I don't think it's an expeditious use of our time to talk about all that when it's there. People that buy into the system will figure that out. But I think, why? Why the system? Well, this is our weight loss pyramid. This is not our wellness pyramid. This is our weight loss pyramid. And at the bottom, you've got water on our pyramid. This is how we live and eat on planet Shibboleth. Water is the most important macronutrient. Next, weight loss pyramid would be category 1 lean protein, your chicken breast, your pork tenderloin, your turkey breast, your egg whites, your fish, low-fat cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, approved milk. Then you've got category 7, shellfish, very lean as a chicken breast, leaner. So you've got shellfish there. So what we're saying here is if you're in weight loss mode, we want you to preserve muscle tissue. Preserving muscle tissue is preserving your metabolism. So we build our combinations ensuring that one of these is on the plate. Then your next most important one is category 2, fibrous carbohydrates. We need these to help neutralize insulin, and we need the roughage in these. Somebody was asking me the other day about a height. They needed to get in 30 grams of protein, doctor's orders. And my comment was, if you just follow the program, you should be getting that in rather easily, unless you're doing intermittent fasting, then we can look at that. But if you're eating 3 meals a day, you should be getting in your fiber pretty easily. You don't want too much fiber. That can cause some constipation and some bloat. But you want enough fiber, enough insoluble and soluble fiber. These don't just fill you up. They're very filling foods. Many expand in the gut upon water. Consuming them with water will cause many of these veggies to expand in the gut, leaves you very full. But the roughage also helps remove undigested food and matter from the digestive system, which is important. Life and death begin in the bowel. It's important to get plenty of insoluble and soluble fibers in your system. We do that by default here. If you're analytical and you want to count calories and grams, you can do that, and we'll help you do it. We prefer you just follow the shield, and day in and day out, everything's going to be just where it needs to be. Ashley says, down 35 pounds. I love the planet. My 1 year old has switched French fries for broccoli. What a great mom. That's awesome. I love it. Love to hear stuff like that. Setting that good example, changing the world, not just changing our life, but changing young people's lives too. Good job, Mama. Next, you've got category 6 superfoods. I think they're great. They contain all the macronutrients. Got to be a little more careful with the portion here because many times you're talking about more calories and more, a little higher on the glycemic index foods. But as long as we follow the combinations we teach, we'll be fine. You're talking about your nuts, your seeds, nut butters, pintos, black beans, red beans. These are great foods. They're allowed. Is there anything bad about any of these? There's something good about every category, something bad about every category, something funny about every category. That's why it's important that we don't just stick with one or two categories exclusively. Too much of a good thing can become a bad thing. Mix it up some. Mix it up some. I think Scott is on here, and this will resonate with him. But I remember many years ago watching my first mixed martial arts fight, and I thought, man, that little guy's going to get killed there. And it would be like boxing against wrestling and so on and so forth. Well, what they learned was you can be a specialist in one thing, but you better be pretty good at all of it if you're in a real scrap. You better know what to do in every situation if you're in a real scrap. So instead of it being who's got the best style of fighting, it became mixed martial arts because you're going to have to be well-versed on the ground and well-versed on your feet and striking if you're going to be any good at it. This is no different. Maybe we need to start awarding some type of belt system here to make people stay after it more. But you've got to know what to do in the situation and based upon your mood. There's a lot to understand, a lot to know here. You need to become well-versed in all this stuff. And you don't need to just have ones and twos all the time. You need to mix it up, some 1, 2, 3s, some 1, 2, 5s, some 7, 2, 5s, some 4s and 2s, some 1, 6, 2s. You got to mix it up. Know what to do. Just control that portion. So we go on up the chart. Well, we got the category 4, I should say, protein plus fat, your steaks. In other words, as it goes up the pyramid, I want you to have them less often when you're in the weight loss mode. Fruit, grains, we can have them. But with them being on the upper end of the pyramid here, it should let you know, indicate to you that we don't need to be focused on these all week. We can focus on them when we get into wellness. We can have more of those in wellness, but not right now. And at the very tip top, you've got condiments. I've seen people waste a whole meal, one of your meals on just a condiment on a meal, where you have honey mustard dressing, it be 400 calories. You go, no, yeah, that quarter cup of honey mustard dressing was 200 to 400 calories, depending on which brands you bought. And you put it all over that salad, ruin that salad. So it's important to choose very low-calorie condiments and at a minimum meet the 5, 2, and few rule. When I'm looking at calories break down into macronutrients, protein, carbs, fat, and water. I even colored them for us tonight. The ones in red are the ones that let me click one more here. The ones in red and the one in green. Those are the ones you ain't never got to worry about. If you are going to slip and overeat those. I'm not wanting you to do that because they take longer to digest and you'll get discouraged when the scales are up because some of that chicken breast is still in your gut. But protein, water, fiber, you're never going to look in the mirror and say, Lord, I got to back away from the grilled fish and the green beans. It's not going to happen. Then you've got fat. Fat, I kept with a warm color there because fat outside of protein and fiber is good. It's good for you. You have to be careful with it because a gram of protein has 4 calories, a gram of fat has 9. So in other words, 8 ounces of steak will have many more calories than 8 ounces of chicken breast. Make sense? Because it's got fat, and fat per gram is more calorie dense. So anytime something's more fatty, we got to be more careful with our portion of that, because if it breaks down, when fat breaks down, it breaks down into fat. It's already in the form of fat, therefore it's easily stored as fat. Protein breaks down into amino acids, has almost no propensity to wind up on the body as fat, unless here's where you got to be careful, unless an unapproved oil, a long-chain triglyceride, olive oil, vegetable oil, butter, if those fats are cooked into a chicken breast, it's still going to taste like a chicken breast, but our body might as well see a steak. Does that make sense to everybody? It becomes much more calorie dense when we cook it in they're approved fats, but you can't have certain categories with them. You know what I'm talking about if you've been in the system for a while. So we got to take into consideration that. But if it's chicken breast that's grilled or cooked in one of the approved cooking fats, it has almost zero propensity to wind up on the body as fat. Amino acids preserve the muscle and the metabolism. Then you've got your carbs. Notice they're in blue. When you're trying to lose weight, you have to be most careful. This cools everything down. When we teach on the weight loss meter Saturday, this will even make more sense. Carbs cool everything down. So if I had a steak and broccoli, right portion, right combo, and then I did have carbs other than fibrous carbs, then not only is that a holiday meal, I just cooled my whole metabolism down. It's like putting water on a fire. Same thing if I'm having chicken breast, broccoli, and corn. That's a great combination. It's great for fat loss, but it still cooled everything down. Well, then why do you say we can have carbs? You're not telling the truth. My point is, I try to teach how to have whatever you want to eat and do it in a way that it does minimal, if any, damage. In other words, if I have a 1 and a 2 in MCT oil, and this is my gear stick for fat burning, and over here is burning fat. So I've been on the program for 2 days and I'm burning lots of fat. I'm burning fat. Then I eat a chicken breast, broccoli cooked in MCT oil, fish, green beans cooked in MCT oil, pork tenderloin, squash, cabbage cooked in MCT. So I eat that. I've got nothing there but protein, amino acids, and fiber. So my body says, I'm going to just keep burning fat. But when I have carbs, starchy carbs, grainy carbs, I have those, I'm getting a new energy source that's immediate. So my body says, I now have an immediate energy source that requires very little digestive breakdown. I don't need to be burning fat, which is an energy source. So I'm going to stop burning fat because I have new intake here. So you're cooling everything down. Now, if you eat these carbs in the right portion and in the right combination, you'll lose fat burning for 4, 5, 6 hours, but then you'll go right back into fat burning because you didn't shoot blood sugar up so high that you got so much fat bust it's going to take you 2 days to get back in EFB. However, if I have fish and I have green beans and I have a baked potato and then I eat an extra baked potato, now I've lost it. I've done shot my blood sugar way too high, and I'm going to have to deal with the effects and the impact of insulin for 2 days before I can possibly get back into fat burning. And this is made worse when you sneak around and graze between meals and think you're doing great, but you're always jacking your sugar up just a little bit. That's why we have that. We're not getting into it tonight. That's why we have it's either a perfect day or a holiday, because I got to have the most number of days possible in a month where I've optimized my system to lose body fat. We think if I have a good day today and don't have one tomorrow, that one, now there's ways to cancel it out in advanced class, but we think that one good day cancels out that one bad day, and it doesn't, because you got to deal with the impact of insulin for 2 days. Hope that makes sense. Let me come out here and see if y'all have any questions before I move forward, because I can't see this Zoom chat. Any questions so far? Is this helping, or am I just confusing the hound out of you? Any questions, any comments? It's helping. Good. Good. Anybody? Hey, Jim Wright. How you doing, brother? Any questions? Good. So, all right, good. So we're going to watch them daily doses, right? This is just giving you some more basis for why we teach what we teach. Yes, you have a question, Belinda. Go ahead. Anybody else? Hey, Karis. Good, good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Want to be a help. More ammo. Yes. Thank you, Carrie. Good to see you, Brother Jim. Any questions before I go back to the PowerPoint? I'm about to reach go. I have been doing Cat 1, Belinda says, and Cat 2. Probably why you're about to reach go. Yeah, I did a great, I don't know where your question's going, since there's a delay in getting your question. What do I eat? That's what I was going to say. There's a maintenance class in the video library. Make sure you watch that. I think that'll help you. But you can definitely do more 1, 2, 3s, 1, 2, 5, 7, 2, 3, 7, 2, 5. You can definitely branch out a little bit, even have fruit as a snack. But we did a maintenance class, a wellness class the other day that's in the library. Tag one of us. Make sure you watch that. That should help you make decisions as you find your maintenance, your wellness phase. If you add Mio to water that has alkaline in it, does it affect the alkaline? Yeah, it does. Anything you add to alkaline water is going to cut back its alkalinity. But I look at it this way. If you believe in that, I look at it this way. If you put the Mio flavoring systems in an acidic water, you just made it more acidic. So at least you're starting with a good base there. So I wouldn't overthink that too much. And even if you only have access to tap water, which is very hard, very acidic, you don't absorb as much of it as you would alkaline water. Even if, hey, wet water, we'll take it. Just as long as it's wet, we'll take it, because your body knows what it's doing, and it is very well able to correct a pH imbalance, unless all you're doing all the time is eating acidic foods and staying stressed out all the time. So a lot of the stuff we want to do is just little helps. There's no deal breakers. There's good rules here. There's better rules. There's best rules. Like, best rule would be never any bread of any kind. But it's a good rule to have Nature's Own double fiber wheat bread. You see what I'm saying? Suggestions for someone who does not like veggies. I would definitely cultivate a taste for them. That would be my suggestion. It can be done. But, if you just don't like veggies, there's got to be something you like. I think we got to be careful when we say, I don't like veggies. There's got to be something you like. If you don't like those, then I would look at some of the superfoods, because you can have a 1, 6, and a 1 and 6 together. I would look at some superfoods. That's an advanced combination, but You can do that, and they have a lot of fiber in them. So I'm sure there's something. You might need to get with a coach and let us help you with a meal plan. Carb Quick is a fine. It is fine if you want to have a Category 2 Carb Quick biscuit. I would prefer that over double fiber wheat bread, certainly, because double fiber wheat bread is going to have more starch in it. Carb Quick's mostly a fat. And if I got to pick between a starch and a fat, I'm going to pick the fat. Butternut squash, Devin Bevel says, yes, that's a good one. Any other questions? I can go without bread, but there are times I want it. There are times I want a 1 egg, Canadian bacon, and fat-free cheese biscuit, So, there's just those times. Rhonda says, I need a meeting daily. Anybody else? All right, so let's get back to it. Get back to work here. I thought this was going to be short, and I done went over. Lordy, I'm a long-winded feller. I got to quit saying that because y'all already believe it, and that ain't helping us. Last slide. All right, let me remind you as we finish up here why you're doing the work, why you're educating yourself. Can y'all hear me? Somebody else lost sound. Hope y'all can hear me. I'm going to go on whether you can or can't. So I look at my height, and then I find my weight range on the chart, and I want to encourage you to draw a line in the sand and say, you may have had many successes in your life. You may have had many successes. You may have never had one. But this can be one that you have. This can be a defining moment in time in your life where you prove to yourself what you're made of and prove to everybody else what you're made of. And that's what life is. Ain't none of us here perfect. Life is about challenges, both external challenges and internal challenges. I talk to people all the time that think they're a bad person. And that's a shame. And they think they can't overcome the challenges on the inside. Every one of us has one or more vices of the flesh. Even the Apostle Paul had a vice. The problem is if you don't try to grow above those things, whether they're outside challenges or inside challenges, you'll never really understand why God put you here until you recognize a challenge and overcome the challenge. You'll never grow. Faith to grow, faith is the only way to please God. And faith to grow must be exercised. And if there's no resistance, it's not exercise. So I want to challenge some of you that's had many successes in life or none to find your weight on this chart and make this the year that you get there. And here's the way this works. And I know this is very simplistic, but it's one of the better ones I've seen because it gives a wide range. So I'm 6'3", and I'm 48 this year. It says I need to be between 168 and 216. I'm 196. What this is saying is that I need to be, I'm as a man, I go from the middle to the higher end of the range. So I look at that and it's saying I'm doing quick math. I need to be around 185 to 216 in that range, 190 to 216. As a woman, if you're a 6'3" woman, just to get for illustrative purposes, since we're already there, and you're over 35, you would need to be 168 to 190 in that range. You're 5'4" female. You're over 35. Say you're 70 years old, you're 5'5". Well, you need to be 126 to 140. Again, I'm not doing exact math because I don't have my calculator here. But you need to get there. How do you do that? How do you do that? I believe like this. Number one, you bless the name of the Lord. On the good days, on the bad days, on the success days, on the failure days, on the perfect days, on the holidays, on days you didn't curse and days you did. And ask God to mold you and make you into what you're supposed to be. Trust God with your life. He knows what you are. Just keep trying to improve. I don't care if you said 10,000 dirty words today. I know some people just fell out with me. I don't care if you said 10,000 dirty words. You keep blessing the name of the Lord, and tomorrow you say 9,999. And the next day, 9,009. And I hope you have a Saul to Paul conversion. Happens overnight. It does for many. Did for me for a little while, and then I went back to my old bad ways and bad habits. And now I just bless the name of the Lord, try to be a little better tomorrow than I was today. And over time, just like losing weight, you become a real work of art for the Lord. But you got to bless Him at every meal. Then you have to find a lifestyle. Mine is Shibboleth. You have to find a lifestyle that you can live with forever, that you ain't looking back. No matter how people try to distract you. Travis, that's kind of self-edifying. It is not, because I believe the program came from the Lord, and I tell people every day, this program probably isn't for you. Try, you kind of lean towards being a vegetarian or whatever, go do that. We could teach you to do that, but there's simpler ways to do that than having to learn everything we got to teach you. Just go do a vegetarian program. Stick to that. I want people to do what they can be successful doing, but Lord, stop chasing your tail, stop moving, and make progress. I found my lifestyle. So we find an eating lifestyle that's doable for us. This is going to be 80% of success. And 80% of success, your ideal self-image, 80% of your ideal self-image is going to be life-changing for you. That may be as far as you ever want to go. You're going to look, I like to say it because I don't do it to be shallow. I do it to make a point. You're going to look good in your clothes. You're going to look good in your clothes, I promise you. If you'll live the Shibboleth lifestyle, even having holidays, just keep them under the allotted number, you're going to look good in your clothes. Man, that's going to change your life more than so many other things, more than money. It's going to change your life. Travis, I want more. There are those people that want more. They've got this ideal self-image, and if they're willing to work for it, I can teach them how to get that. But then you've got to add on top of our pyramid exercise and supplementation. And then we'll look good naked. And that's it. You learn the program, you learn the system, make a decision, and you go for it with everything you got, with all the tenacity you can muster, and you do it on the days you don't want to do it as well as on the days you do want to do it. That's all I got tonight. Just trying to reinforce stuff, basic training. Any questions or comments? Yes, ma'am. We did record it, Miss Janice. Good to have you tonight. Hey, everybody. Hey, Alexandria, Ricardo, Sean, Kelly. Hey, everybody. Angie. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, if you registered in Zoom, you'll get an email with the playback. And it'll also be on the website. Those watching via Facebook, because you come in late. We did record it. It seems like it recorded fine. It'll be in the video library tomorrow. Be emailed to you if you register for Zoom. Questions or comments? Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Angie. It means a lot. Hey, Beth. Beth posted some great pictures today. When people get discouraged, I just shake my head because you see people like Beth and Sandy and so many people doing so good. How can you not believe in yourself enough to know what they can do, I can do too? Thank you, Kelly. It means the world. It means the world to us. Thank you, Deb. All right. I can't wait to watch Brooklyn's class. My little girl's been going through a lot. She is learning and growing in this, and she's now starting to try to apply it. Takes time. Takes time. You can learn it sometimes and not apply it. You can try to apply it but not know it. And she's really taken some heat from some of our loving members lately. And I told her, I said, this is where you get to see if it's going to make you or break you. And I'm very proud of her. I hear she's taught 2 of the best classes. She's taught in a long time, lost weight. I'm very proud of her. And for those of you that are writing me, feeling like that I am bullying or pressuring my daughter to do this, y'all got it all wrong. I don't know what she told you, but I can tell you that I tell her just what I tell y'all. I say this: if you love you, I love you whether you love you or not. But all you do is talk about wanting to lose weight. Either flitter or get off the pot. I tell everybody the same thing. You know why? Because a loving daddy told me that. She's got enough friends to coddle her and tell her what she wants to hear. And whether y'all know it or not, I don't tell her nothing. She's done told me like 25 times that she wants to lose weight. And then I say, I really don't want to hear it, because if you really wanted to do it, you'd do it. So if you don't want to do it, I love you. You're the one struggling with self-love. I love you. Girl, I love you to death. I held you in one hand. I watched you come in this world, and I want nothing but good for you and for you to love yourself. And if you're happy, I'm happy. But you can't ask me to tell you the truth and then me not. And I'm so proud of her, because she's learning life lessons that other people her age don't want to learn. It's called gritty determination and tenacity. Or quit talking about it. Either do it or don't do it. See, if I tell you or you tell yourself, oh, it's okay. It's if you're complaining. I don't tell people to lose weight that ain't complaining about it. But if all you do is talk about wanting to lose weight, and that's 50, 60% of your year, is I got to lose weight this year. I got to lose weight this year. The worst thing I can do is coddle. That's not being a friend to you, because a friend don't want to risk upsetting you or whatever. They don't love you enough to risk relationship. If you're telling me I'm miserable, I'm going to hear that about 10 times, and I'm going to say, you must not be. Or you do something about it, because that's when my life changed. So I don't bully her or push her. For those of you, I've got some sweet little letters that say, please be careful with that. I don't know what she told y'all. I love you, Brooklyn. But I don't bully her into doing this. She wants to do it, because if she didn't, I'm just as happy with her as I can be. I could care less. If she's happy, Daddy's happy. But if she ain't happy, I can't just say it's okay to be unhappy. That would be saying to her, you have no power to change. I believe people are where they are because they want to be there. I don't care if that's where you live or where you work. I don't care. Your weight, your bad relationship, you're there because you lack the courage to change it. Sorry if that hurt. She's doing a great job. I love her. For those of y'all, it breaks my heart when I read something y'all think I've been hard on her, because I ain't never been hard on that girl. Except for when she's little. I wish I could take some of that back. She was my firstborn. Some of y'all grew up in North Georgia know what I'm talking about. My daddy didn't put me in timeout. His timeout was when he got tired of spanking me, he'd take a timeout. Things have changed a little bit. Let me go back. Thank you, Alexandria, for sharing that about Brooklyn. I'm so proud of her. Alexandria Ricardo, well, I eat too much. She's like her daddy, raw and honest. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Well, I eat too much fiber to get off the pot. I like it. Yeah, it's good. What's your poo telling you? Thank you. I don't know who that is, San or Sandra or somebody. She knows your heart. I hope so. I love her. I'd die for her this second. I'd do it for her if I could. I'd just do it for her. Anybody else? Anybody at all? Well, all right. Well, I've enjoyed this tonight. I've enjoyed being with you. Hope you got something out of it. I believe in the, Cindy says something, just don't know what to eat. Oh, you believe in the program, just don't know what to eat. Well, I could tell you, but the best thing to do would be to get a mentor appointment, because you know we send that email out with the options. Then there's a meal plan generator on the website. But sometimes I have found people are so overwhelmed, it's best to print off a little meal plan and just let somebody walk you through. And Sasha was talking about this the other day. Somebody said, I don't know what to eat. And Sasha said, what do you eat now? Pancakes. Well, here's the way you're going to have pancakes. Eggs. Well, here's the way we're going to have eggs. Cereal. Well, here's the cereal we're going to have. I eat out fast food. Well, here's what we're going to do at Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. It's really simple, but there's so much information. It's easy just to, I don't want to mess up and feel overwhelmed. So I think the best thing would be to invest that time in yourself, to call the office or to reach out and get an appointment through mentor.gymbook.com and stick to the appointment. You believe it or not, 80% of the time people cancel those appointments after getting them. That's how moody we all are. And then just let's come up with 3 breakfasts, 3 lunch, and 3 dinners. That's all you're going to need for the first week, right? You don't need 1,000 options in week 1. You need few breakfasts, few lunches, few dinners, and need to know what to do if you wind up at the Mexican restaurant. And then you're off to the races, and then you'll be learning and you'll start figuring things out, I promise. Let me just go on and type that out for everybody so that because we've got another person asking. It's www.mentor.gymbook.com. It's on the website. It says one-on-one. Get you one-on-one right here. I'm telling you, and I'm not knocking people, but I got to keep talking about this spirit that's in us. We're living in a microwave society, and there's this bad spirit that's gotten a hold of us. People will get fired up and set an appointment to get some help, and 80% of the time will cancel it before the phone call because, they convince themselves, I don't want to do it. I ain't got time. Whatever it is. My goodness. This losing weight is going to pay more dividends than anything. It's going to pay more dividends than anything you've invested in the stock market. I can guarantee you that. It's life-changing stuff. They would have had a whole grade dedicated to how to eat when we were in elementary school, but they didn't. So let's now invest the time and learn it. It'll be like riding a bike later. Anybody else? Anybody at all? All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. I love you. Thanks for coming tonight. It does our heart good to connect with you. And we'll see you again this week with some sparks, daily sparks. And then we'll see you Saturday with the weight loss meter class. Talk to y'all later.